Right friends, welcome back to Why and How for 19th week, and from this week onwards I would like to make it clear. One will be why and how, and the second one is Press Information Bureau News in Detail. So instead of facts and figures, one module will be Press Information Bureau News in Detail, and why and how is as it is. Look at the first one. Ministry of Urban Development will launch livability index of cities. This is indigenously evolved index. In the first phase, 140 cities will be selected. Out of 140, 53 cities will be 1 million plus population, and all the smart cities will also be included. And here two important aspects. One is cities will be assessed based on 15 core parameters. The 15 core parameters include: one is governance aspect as well as social infrastructure pertaining to education, health, and overall if you see, it covers a total of 79 aspects. So in future, cities will be ranked based on livability index. Government of India created a task force under the chairmanship of Vice Chairman Niti Aayog Dr. Arvind Panagadia. And here the problem with the present system is Labour Bureau collects the data once in 3 months, or you can say quarterly basis, on 8 labour intensive sectors. National Sample Survey Office conducts household survey once in 5 years. So the unemployment data in our country is somewhat in a piecemeal manner. So the committee led by Arvind Panagaria is to recommend solutions which can be implemented in a time-bound manner. India suffers from lack of reliable data on employment, and this is the biggest challenge for policy makers, because devoid of proper data in India, it is becoming difficult for framing the policies with regard to employment. And salient points I have given here. Labour Bureau data covers only 8 sectors. Second one is, because of this, both policy making and analysis in our country are being conducted in a data vacuum, and the committee was given the task so that the policies on employment can be formulated. If you look at some Western countries, you will have regular data. You will have regular data on employment statistics. Right. The next one is, United Nations report says that demonetization will not stop the generation of black money on its own, and the United Nations report feels that some more additional initiatives are required. As per the recent report, Economic and Social Survey of Asia and the Pacific 2017, it says that the size of the black money in India is around 20 to 25% of GDP. But remember, several figures vary with this, and there is no conclusive estimate of black money in circulation in our country. And the report says the cash component is only 10% of this black economy. So as the cash component is only 10% of black economy, it is demonetization will not be sufficient to control generation of black money on its own, and some more initiatives are required. Look into the next one. United States of America imposed several non-tariff barriers in recent times. Nowadays, because of protectionist tendencies by some Western countries, these non-tariff barriers are once again coming into picture, and we have seen the era of liberalization, and now we are seeing the opposite. Opposite is protectionism. Nowadays, more and more countries are imposing several barriers. The US non-tariff barriers include several aspects like bioterrorism, child labor, national security clause, phytosanitary issues. What is phytosanitary issue? Phytosanitary issue pertains to agricultural pests. If some agricultural commodity is imported, there is a very possibility of some pest transferring from that country to this country, and this is known as phytosanitary issue, right? And tariff barriers, all of you are familiar with the tariff barriers. They are basically in the form of duties, and how the tariff barriers will be useful to the country I have given here. And non-tariff barriers are basically quotas. Quotas means quantities. You cannot import more than this. Then based on quality, people can raise quality related issues, what the United States of America is raising now. So, United States of America with a view to impose more and more protectionist measures, it is going for quality related non-tariff barriers. If you want more about non-tariff barriers, please look into this. These are the restrictions other than taxes. Taxes or duties or tariff barriers, non-tariff barriers or restrictions other than taxes, and to provide protection to domestic industries, and non-tariff barriers in the form of import quotas, subsidies, customs delays, technical barriers. Now, USA is coming up with more and more technical barriers. Please look into this. US Department of Labor arbitrarily listed 23 items produced in India on the list of goods produced by child labor or forced labor. As these goods are listed to have produced with child labor, they cannot be imported. And at the same time, it is also asking for X-ray scanning of containers exported to USA, or you can say imported by USA. And one more thing is, on national security grounds, imports can be curbed from third nations, and Ayurveda and traditional Indian medicines are hit by United States of America's requirement of clinical trials, right? So, USA is imposing one after the other non-tariff barriers, right? Then government recently launched an online portal and mobile app for tracking data from business related schemes and to monitor delayed payments to small businesses from public sector enterprises. MSME minister said that online portal was launched and mobile app for tracking data from business related schemes and to monitor delayed payments to small enterprises from public sector enterprises. And as per the ministry, I have taken from the minister's statement, as per the ministry, MSMEs constitute 45% of overall manufacturing, 42% of exports, and they contribute 37% of GDP of secondary sector. And there are approximately 5 crore enterprises and less than 1 crore are registered. And if you look at MSMEs schemes, one scheme, please don't forget, the Spurti, SFURTI. What is this scheme? This scheme is creation of clusters. Here, full form is Scheme of Fund for Regeneration of Traditional Industries, and government is giving more push for this. 49 clusters under Spurti have already been created. So, from examination perspective, Spurti is for MSMEs, creation of clusters, Scheme of Fund for Regeneration of Traditional Industries. Then, if you look at MSMEs, government started Ujjog Aadhar Memorandum, UAM. Ujjog Aadhar Memorandum was launched, and now an entrepreneur can enter all the relevant information online within 5 minutes, and with self-certification, a micro enterprise can be registered. And at the same time, MSMEs can now get loans up to rupees 2 crore. Previously, it was rupees 1 crore. Now, it is increased to rupees 2 crore without any third party guarantee. And to give third party guarantee, this Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for MSMEs or CGTMSE is there, and its corpus is increased from rupees 2500 crore to rupees 7500 crore. This is increased to rupees 2 crore from rupees 1 crore. Not only that, the corpus is increased from rupees 2,500 crore to rupees 7,500 crore. And another important aspect, 20% of purchases by public sector at the center as well as the states must be from small businesses and 4% must be from SC/ST enterprises. So, these are the statements given by the MSME minister. So, they are very important from examination perspective. This Spurti is very important. Then UAM, Udyog Aadhar Memorandum, and MSMEs, this 2 crore, 7,500 crore. And while answering a question on MSMEs in mains examination also, these points will come handy for quoting. Right, friends? De-escalation agreement was reached among Russia, Turkey and Iran in Astana. And this regime, that means Bashar al-Assad regime, will allow uninterrupted humanitarian supplies to the rebel-held areas and to provide public services, because some areas are occupied by rebels and humanitarian supplies is the need of the hour. And because of bombing of rebel-held areas, several casualties are taking place, civilians are dying, and under the circumstances, this assumed a lot of significance. And please don't forget, when you look at Syria, there are 3 actors we have discussed number of times, and this is Syria from examination perspective. In geography, this is very important. Boundaries, important world heritage sites, what we have discussed in the previous classes, like Palmyra is the world heritage site in Syria, and Aleppo old city is also world heritage city, which was devastated because of the civil war between government forces and rebel forces. Right, friends, look at the next one. Japan is going to revise country's constitution by 2020, and it is going to rewrite country's controversial post-war pacifist constitution. After, in 1947, Japan renounced the use of force. Very important, because it was devastated because of 1945 dropping of atomic bomb, and Japan in 1947 renounced the use of force in the resolution of international disputes and proclaimed never to maintain the forces to protect the land, sea and air. And the charter, this is Article 9 of Pacifist Constitution, only made provision for self-defense forces. And subsequently, in 2015, after the execution of 2 Japanese hostages by Islamic State, it changed it to self-defense doctrine to collective self-defense doctrine. As per collective self-defense doctrine, Japanese forces can join a battle to defend the nation's allies even where its territory is not at threat. So, previously as per 1947, it was self-defense forces only to protect their country. Subsequently, in 2015, it brought amendment to change from self-defense doctrine to collective self-defense doctrine, and it is going to rewrite the constitution by 2020, right? So, this is all about this. Please go through this if you want more. Then the government will appoint retired judges of district and subordinate judiciary, superannuated IAS, IPS officers and others from Group A central services with the legal and administrative background to work as Nyaya Mitras. So, government proposed Nyaya Mitras. Nyaya Mitras will handle complaints against the judiciary. What is the present practice? The present practice is Law Ministry forwards the complaints to Supreme Court as well as High Courts, but there is no reaction from judiciary. Under these circumstances, government is proposing Nyaya Mitras. So, all the grievances received by either PMO, Law Ministry, they will be forwarded to Nyaya Mitras. Nyaya Mitras will be located in all parts of the country, and the issue may be related to corruption, delay in judgments or unfair judgments. And I have given here mechanism of Nyaya Mitras. they will get some honorarium and they will be allowed to work till 70 years of age. And this assumed significance because when one looks at the grievances against the judiciary, it include 47% for delay in delivery of judgments, 15% for alleged corruption and 10% for unfair judgment by courts. And last year, government received 14,000 complaints pertaining to corruption in the judiciary. And when these things are forwarded to Supreme Court and High Courts, the government is not getting any response. Under the circumstances, government wants to create a mechanism through Nyaya Mitras. Right, friends? The Prime Minister uploaded the integrated case management system on the Supreme Court website. So, it is the first step of digital filing. It is the first step towards digital filing, that means towards paperless Supreme Court. Here, the litigant can digitally file a case and watch the progress of the case on real-time basis. The system will help litigants access data and retrieve information online. And Chief Justice proposed to integrate the system with all the 24 high courts and subordinate courts. And this assumed significance because 61,000 cases are pending in Supreme Court and 39 lakh cases are pending in high courts. Right? So, the first step for digital filing was taken when the Prime Minister uploaded integrated case management system in the Supreme Court website. Right? And the Supreme Court sentenced Calcutta High Court sitting judge Justice C.S. Karnan to 6 months imprisonment for contempt of court, judiciary and judicial process of the gravest nature. The Constitution bench of the court also ordered the media not to report any statements made by Justice Karnan. And it raises 3 important questions. And why the persons like Karnan were appointed as judges in High Court? There is no institutional mechanism developed by higher judiciary to discipline the errant judges. That is first point. When any judge is becoming errant, there is no institutional mechanism developed to silence him. Second point is, the collegium system is not transparent. How the collegium system selected such a judge, and it throws some light with regard to the collegium system, which appears to be not transparent. And how can the Supreme Court impose restrictions on the freedom of speech and expression, which is a fundamental right under Article 19(1)(a) of the Constitution? So, these 3 questions have got no answers. And after Karnan case, these 3 became evident. The world's tallest railway arch bridge is coming up on Chenab river in Jammu, providing rail connectivity to Kashmir. And this will be a crucial link in 111 kilometer stretch between Katra in Jammu and Banihal in Kashmir. And this is part of Udhampur, Srinagar, Baramulla railway line project. And the length is 1.3 kilometers. Its height is 359 meters, which is 35 meters taller than Eiffel Tower in Paris and 5 times the height of Qutub Minar in Delhi. Right, friends? India's first integrated biorefinery for renewable fuels and chemicals for producing ethanol from a variety of biomass was inaugurated at Rahu in Pune district of Maharashtra. The plant will produce ethanol from the variety of biomass, and this ethanol will be produced from agro residues like rice and wheat straw, cotton stalk, bagasse, cane trash, corn cobs and stover with superior product yields. And this is known as second generation, right? The first generation of the biorefinery is very easy. It is conventional, where the ethanol is made from sugars and vegetable oils, and it is very easy, and that can be easily extracted by using conventional technology. But the second generation of extraction is very difficult. It is obtained from biomass, that means from woody crops, agricultural residues, and it is very much harder to extract the required fuel using conventional technology. So, what I mean to convey is second generation extraction of fuels is very difficult and it is not possible using conventional technology, and it requires some special methods. So, please differentiate between first generation and second generation. Then Facebook launched its Express Wi-Fi internet services in India, which are already available at 700 hotspots across several states. Facebook has partnered with 500 local entrepreneurs who will sell these services through vouchers, and additional 20,000 hotspots will be launched by Facebook in partnership with Airtel. Supreme Court appointed a 3-member panel headed by former Judge Justice P. Venkatrama Reddy to review and rationalize the pay structures for emoluments of the judicial officers of the subordinate courts across the country with respect to civil servants. Then India test fired Spider. Spider is surface to air quick action missile, and please look into the details with regard to Spider. Spider stands for surface to air, Python and Derby. It is the acquired missile system from Israel, and it is a short range quick reaction surface to air missile. It will neutralize enemy targets up to a distance of 15 kilometers and at heights between 20 and 9,000 meters. This is all about the Spider. The trial of Spider, an acquired missile system from Israel, was carried out for validating various parameters to further strengthen the country's air defense system. So, it is a short range quick reaction surface to air missile. So, if someone talks about the Spider, it was acquired missile system from Israel. Who appointed Bollywood icon Amitabh Bachchan as Goodwill Ambassador for Hepatitis in Southeast Asia region to boost awareness and intensify action to arrest the epidemic. The actor said in 2015 that he was Hepatitis B patient, and also said that he was surviving only with 25% of the liver functions. The actor also said that he has been infected with hepatitis B virus during a surgery in 1982 following an accident on the sets of movie Coolie, right? So, this assumed significance because viral hepatitis kills 4 lakh people in Southeast Asia each year, most of them in productive years. So, who appointed Bollywood icon Amitabh Bachchan as Goodwill Ambassador for Hepatitis, right? Look at the last one. The President presented National Florence Nightingale Awards to the nursing personnel on the occasion of International Nurses Day. Florence Nightingale, born on May 12, 1820, 197 years ago, this day is to commemorate the birth anniversary of Florence Nightingale, and Union Home Ministry instituted these prizes with cash award of rupees 50,000. Right friends, we came to the end of Why and How. Have a nice day. Thank you.